Hello, a big loving welcome to our very own channel, Ammu&You, where I, Ammu, is again ready with a new story for you. Today, the story that I have for you is very, very meaningful and has a purpose. It's a very sensitive and heart-touching occasion, the 26th of November 2008, when Mumbai reeled under the terrorist attack. Different people react differently when faced with danger. The terrorist attack on the unsuspecting people of Mumbai on 26 November 2008 threw up several brave hearts. We salute them. So the story today is For Them, India's Heroes, written by Anonymous. The students fidgeted and shifted in their seats as Mrs. Rita Barua entered. She gave them a few seconds to settle down, but an air of thrill and enthusiasm prevailed. Let us begin our lesson for today. She addressed an eager class 8A. How many of you are ready with your speeches on what you would like to be when you grow up? All 40 hands went up in unison. Mrs. Barua beamed. Clearly, this assignment had not been a drudge. Wonderful, Mrs. Barua said. Remember that it does not have to be a profession. You can also speak of someone whom you'd want to be like, maybe a role model or a mentor. You may even talk of a particular trait or quality that you admire in a person and wish to emulate. A crackle of sheets was heard as students hurriedly arranged the pages on which they had written their assignments. They were eager to speak in front of their classmates. It was Ajit Basu's turn first. He spoke of how he wanted to become the best cricketer in the world. Sachin Tendulkar was his idol. No surprises. He was followed by Gayatri Chhabra, who said that she wanted to be a social worker like her mother. And Sanjay Damle elaborated on the thrill of flying an aeroplane with the air and clouds as his terrain. The class listened in rapt attention as one by one the children spoke about actors, sports stars, politicians, and so on. When Khabib got up to speak, his hands shook slightly and beads of perspiration appeared on his forehead. He was not accustomed to facing the entire class and speaking out aloud. He knew that he did not have a flair for making speeches. However, he had worked hard on his assignment and had written it from the depth of his heart. It was different from the others, as it did not focus on any one person, profession, or quality. It was a combination of traits and people from different walks of life. People who had stirred Kabir's heart. Clearing his throat, he began. When I grow up, I want to be brave like Major Sandeep Unnikrishnan, the 31-year-old National Security Guard commando who laid down his life fighting the terrorists in Mumbai in November 2008. A hush fell over the class. Sandeep Unnikrishnan had made up his mind when he was 8 in class 3 that he wanted to join the army. When he was older, he served 2 tenures with his battalion in counter-insurgency and counter-terrorism operations before becoming part of the NSG in January 2007. Major Sandeep was deployed on the 27th of November to clear Hotel Taj of terrorists. On entering the hotel with his team, he engaged the terrorists in a fierce gunfight. When one of his commandos was hit in the exchange of fire, he arranged for his evacuation. Even though he knew that his life was in danger, Major Unnikrishnan chased the terrorists. A courageous Sandeep told the rest of the team, "Don't come up, I will handle them." He followed the terrorist who had escaped to another floor of the hotel. The gunfight went on for some time, and the major was hit by their bullets. In a last effort, he tried to save his soldier Gajendra Singh, but eventually succumbed to his injuries. Kabir paused. By now, every eye was focused on him. The assignment speech was on. What do you want to be when you grow up? They wondered what would follow. Everyone had been allotted 3 times, and Kabir had only spoken for a minute yet. Outside, birds chirped, cars honked, and the younger children were enjoying their recess. However, Class 8A, oblivious to everything, was all ears as Kabir continued. When I grow up, I want to be like Vishnu Dattaram Zende, who was an announcer with the Mumbai Railways for 10 years. On 26th November, he heard a loud explosion at one end of a CST platform and saw that some people had blood stains on their clothes. He guessed that something was terribly wrong and used the public announcement system to tell people to go out from a different exit. Instead of running for his life, he kept on making announcements for almost half an hour, even though he knew that the terrorists could attack him. They did. They fired a bullet into Vishnu Zende's cabin, but it missed him. When I grow up, I want to be like Karambi Singh Kang, the general manager of the Taj Hotel, who, instead of worrying about his own safety or his family's needs, first helped his guests and staff out of the hotel. That was his duty. Duty came first, even before family, to him. His wife and children were trapped in a room engulfed by fire. They died of suffocation in the very same hotel. Even on hearing of their deaths, Karambir Singh Kang did not abandon his responsibilities and continued to fight for his guests' safety. The noble and loyal manager, despite his own irreparable loss, still remains at the Taj, helping to restore the heritage structure. When Kabir looked up, he noticed that Swati's eyes were moist. He suppressed a sob and continued. When I grow up, I want to be fearless like the anti-terrorism squad chief Hemant Karkari, who pursued the terrorists in a jeep. He was gunned down by the terrorists near Kama Hospital, along with his valiant comrades, DIG Ashok Kamte and Vijay Salaskar. Hemant Karkare was a brave officer who served in Austria for 7 years in the Research and Analysis Wing of India as an intelligence officer. Shahid Karkare spent his life fighting terror to make our tomorrow terror-free. Kabir now had goosebumps on his arms, and Mrs. Barua was looking down. I have goosebumps too. She did not want her students to notice the tears that had welled up in her eyes. Kabir went on. When I grow up, I want to be caring like Muhammad Tawfiq Sheikh, popularly known as Chotu Chaiwala, a young boy who ran a tea stall outside CST station. He was among the first to help transport the injured to St. George Hospital. Had it not been for the efforts of people like him, many of the wounded might not have made it to the hospital on time and would have died. When I grow up, I want to be selfless like Sandra Samuel, the Indian nanny who saved the life of 2-year-old Moshe during the November 2008 Mumbai terror attacks. Sandra saved Moshe when Nariman house was attacked. Both of Moshe's parents were killed in the attack. When I grow up, I want to be like the caretakers of the Qabristans, the cemeteries in Mumbai, who refused to allow the dead terrorists to be buried there. They proved by their resolve that terrorism has no religion. And the only true religion in the world is love and respect for all human beings. As Khabib slowly ended, the class rose as one, applauding and cheering. Mrs. Barua dabbed a handkerchief to her eyes. She knew that all in front of her were children who would become the pillars that would uphold the virtues of peace, tolerance, and selflessness in an India that would one day be terror-free and lead the world in the path of peace and brotherhood that it is known for since the ancient times. We salute these brave hearts. If you've liked the story, please may I request you to like, share, and subscribe. You may press the bell icon to get all the updates of the channel. And thank you so much for listening to the story. Thank you also for all your comments and encouragements that I get, which are a huge morale boost to me. It boosts up my morale, and I really, really enjoy this journey of storytelling even more. Thank you. Stay safe, stay blessed, and wait for me till I come again with another story to narrate to you. Till then, bye-bye.